This is the story of World War II, when the Soviet Union captured all the German soldiers as prisoners after the war ended. The movie begins by showing a prison camp in Siberia. Here, numerous prisoners are held, all of whom are German soldiers. The war is over, and these soldiers have been brought here to work. Among them is a prisoner named Clemens Forel, who has been sentenced to 25 years. This means he must work hard and survive here for 25 years. However, Clemens wants to escape because he dreams of reuniting with his wife and daughter. The camp is not heavily guarded, but escaping means death. Surrounding the camp are snow and extreme cold. He is determined to escape regardless. One night, he finds an opportunity. He sneaks into a coal train and escapes. As he looks at the stars in the sky that night, he feels a brief moment of happiness. But suddenly, the train stops. When he peeks outside, a Soviet officer spots him. Clemens is taken back to the camp and thrown into a tiny underground cell. It's freezing cold, it's raining, and he is given no food. Despite this torture, Clemens survives. After 3 days, the warden pulls him out and tells him that his comrades are waiting for him. When Clemens returns to the other prisoners, they are furious with him because, due to his actions, none of them have been given food for 3 days. They beat him badly, leaving him injured. A doctor, who is also a prisoner, treats Clemens. Clemens confides in him that he doesn't want to die here. He wants to escape and reunite with his wife and daughter in Germany. The doctor, who is also ill due to the dangerous lead mining the prisoners are forced to do, warns Clemens that staying here means certain death. The mining slowly poisons their bodies, knowing his own death is near. The doctor gives Clemens warm clothes, shoes, a gun, and a compass he had prepared for his own escape plan. He also gives Clemens his lunchbox, asking him to deliver it to his family if Clemens makes it out alive. That same night, during a snowstorm, Clemens escapes again. When the warden learns of this, he goes to confront the doctor, only to find that the doctor has passed away. Furious, the warden sends his soldiers to search for Clemens. Although many believe Clemens is dead because of the extreme cold, the warden is certain that Clemens is alive. Clemens, meanwhile, braves the snowstorm and keeps moving forward. After 9 days of walking in the freezing cold, he hears the barking of dogs. He looks back to see a sled approaching. Terrified, he collapses, only to wake up and realize it was just a dream. Exhausted from walking for days, starving, and dehydrated, Clemens collapses. He later regains consciousness after hearing a sound. He sees a seal nearby. He shoots at it but misses. Desperate, he chases the seal and finally manages to kill it with his last bullet. For the first time in days, Clemens has food to eat. He continues his journey, using his compass and talking to himself to stay mentally active. After 2 months of walking through the icy wilderness, he finally sees a dry tree, a sign that he has reached the edge of the Arctic tundra. Back at the camp, the warden is still determined to find Clemens. He orders his soldiers to search within a 500-meter radius. Meanwhile, Clemens reaches a forest where dry trees are everywhere. However, a snowstorm strikes, causing trees to fall. One of the trees falls on Clemens, but 2 gold prospectors find and rescue him. As the snow melts and the rivers thaw, Clemens and the 2 men build a wooden raft to continue their journey. During a rapid river current, one of the men falls into the water. Clemens jumps in to save him, risking his own life. After rescuing him, they continue, but the other man selfishly takes the raft and leaves them behind. Later, Clemens and the man he saved catch up with the selfish prospector, realizing his betrayal. The rescued man shoots the prospector. Clemens and his companion then continue their journey. Months pass as they walk through forests and snowy terrain. At one point, Clemens offers to carry his companion's bag, but the man, fearing Clemens wants to steal his gold, attacks him. Clemens falls off a ledge and loses consciousness. He awakens to the sound of wolves approaching. As the wolves close in, Clemens climbs a tree. However, the tree is thin and snaps, leaving Clemens vulnerable. Just as the wolves are about to attack, gunshots ring out. Some local hunters kill the wolves and rescue Clemens, taking him to their village. Clemens feels safe for the first time, but soon a Soviet army message arrives, warning villagers against sheltering an escaped German prisoner. The locals, fearing for their safety, urge Clemens to leave. They give him food and a dog for companionship. Clemens and his dog journey for a year, eventually reaching a place with many mill workers. Clemens's dog runs toward the workers, leading them to Clemens. Recognizing him as a fugitive, they take him to their employer. Clemens shares his story, which moves the mill owner. Out of compassion, the owner helps Clemens board a train heading west. As Clemens nears his destination, the train stops at a station filled with Soviet soldiers. Realizing he has been betrayed by the mill owner, Clemens and his dog jump off the train and flee. The soldiers chase him, and Clemens finds himself face to face with the warden. Before the warden can capture him, Clemens's dog attacks the warden, giving Clemens a chance to escape. Tragically, Clemens hears gunshots and realizes his dog has been killed. Heartbroken, he keeps running. Eventually, Clemens reaches a bridge and jumps onto a passing train, evading the soldiers once again. Months later, he arrives at a fair but has no money for food. A kind girl notices him and sends a child to give him a piece of pancake. Grateful, Clemens continues his journey, reaching Central Asia. A Polish Jewish man suspects Clemens but later offers to help after learning his story. He provides Clemens with a passport, allowing him to cross into Iran. Overwhelmed with emotion, Clemens crosses the border, thinking he has finally made it. However, as he steps forward, a light shines on him, and he sees the warden standing there. Clemens realizes he is still on Soviet soil and breaks down, thinking his years of struggle were in vain. But the warden surprises him by stepping aside, allowing Clemens to pass. 7 years after escaping the prison camp, Clemens finally returns to West Germany. On Christmas Day, he sees his wife and daughter leaving for church. Following them, he reunites with his daughter, who recognizes him and embraces him. After years of suffering, Clemens is finally reunited with his family, bringing the movie to an emotional end. If you enjoy